The Olympic sports tend to excite millions of people all over the world. Fans of the Olympic Games have some burning questions after the 2022 event, and in today's video, we'll be covering some of these most exciting concerns. Starting off, how many Olympic all-around gold medalists will return? A question on many people's minds is just how many all-around gold medalists will be making a return. Since earning the all-around gold medal at the Tokyo Olympics, Suni Lee has only participated in NCAA gymnastics, but she revealed last month that this will be her final year with the Auburn Tigers. Lee intends to return to top Olympic-level gymnastics after this winter. Although she has plenty of time until the most important domestic contests in August, she hasn't yet declared her return. Meanwhile, Simone Biles indicated in September that she plans to be at the Paris Olympics. She only needs to choose if she'll participate in it as an athlete or spectator. Biles hasn't offered more updates since, but as of the third quarter of last year, was still getting drug tested. This is noteworthy because Biles will be exempt from the 6-month waiting time for athletes who leave the testing pool and then re-enter it if she doesn't remove her name from it. Finally, there is Olympic all-around champion Gabby Douglas from 2012. She last competed at the 2016 Rio Olympics, but according to reports and a photo from last fall, she's been training at the World Olympic Gymnastics Academy in Texas. This academy also produced reigning U.S. all-around champion Connor McClain and Olympic all-around champions Carly Patterson and Nastia Liukin. Douglas hasn't reacted publicly, and her representative indicated Wednesday that there's nothing new to report. Following up, what will Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone race? McLaughlin-Levrone is the first defending gold medalist to receive a bye into the World Championships. This allows her to compete in the 400-meter hurdles at the Global Championships in Budapest in August, without doing so at the USA Track and Field Outdoor Championships in July. At nationals, athletes who receive byes occasionally participate in other events. Our burning question is answered when we combine that with her words from last autumn that she wants to add the flat 400 meter to her schedule, but not give up the hurdles just yet. In regards to a potential 400 meter/400 meter hurdles double bid in 2023, a firm decision had yet to be taken at the time McLaughlin-Levrone made those remarks in the autumn. The women's 400 meter hurdles first round heats at the World Championships begin 2 hours and 20 minutes before the women's 400 meter semifinals. At any meeting, elite professionals hardly ever compete in numerous races over distances of more than 200 meters in a single session. The Olympic schedule is still flexible enough for a potential women's 400 meter and 400 meter hurdles double in 2024. None of the rounds of those races take place on the same day at the Olympics for the first time in Olympic history, but racing 6 days straight in the Olympics would still be difficult to accomplish through the finals. Moving on, will Caleb Dressel compete in 2023, and if so, when? Dressel, who took home 5 gold medals in the Tokyo Olympics, withdrew from the World Championships in June for unidentified medical reasons after winning his first 2 finals. He hasn't participated in any competition since. His last update was on September 4th, saying he hadn't swam since the World Championships and missed swimming. The final words of his social media post were, "I'll be back." The US Championships, which will serve as a qualifier for the Global Championships in Japan later in July, will take place from June 27th to July 1st. The Olympic winner in the 200-meter fly, Christoph Milak, took Dressel's place as the new world champion in the 100-meter fly, where Dressel retains the world record. 18-year-old Romanian David Popovici won the world title and eventually set a new world record in the 100-meter freestyle, where Dressel had previously held the record for the fastest man in the world outside of the supersuit period. Up next is Katie Ledecky headed for a race of the century. The most anticipated head-to-head race in 18 years might be held at Swimming Worlds. In the women's 400-meter freestyle, world champion Kate Ledecky could compete against reigning Olympic champion Ariarne Titmus of Australia and 16-year-old Canadian sensation Summer McIntosh. Titmus beat Ledecky's record this year, but he chose to focus on the Commonwealth Games rather than competing against her at the World Championships. Ledecky lost the silver medal to McIntosh at the Worlds, making her the 4th fastest woman in history. The build-up has been likened to the race of the century, which took place in the 200-meter free at the 2004 Athens Games between Michael Phelps, Ian Thorpe of Australia, and Peter van den Hoogenband of the Netherlands. Plus, will Michaela Schifrin break one of alpine skiing's historic records? She won her previous 4 races in 3 different disciplines to achieve 80 World Cup victories, and Schifrin enters 2023 in possibly the finest shape she's been in since her remarkable 2018-2019 season. She is 6 victories short short of the overall record held by Swedish icon Ingmar Stenmark since his retirement in 1989, and 2 victories short of the female record held by Lindsey Vonn. Shiffrin, who's 27 years old, plans to continue competing for at least until the 2026 Winter Olympics. You have to start wondering whether 100 World Cup victories are a possibility if she achieves 87 victories in 2023 after averaging roughly 8 victories every season. Following up, what happens with Russian athletes? Since the invasion of Ukraine 10 months ago, Russians and Belarusians have been prohibited from competing internationally in the majority of Olympic sports. Olympic sports officials have been debating how athletes who oppose the war may reappear since at least September. The International Olympic Committee has not yet recommended removing their restrictions, but it's stated that it would look into the potential of having Russian athletes compete in Asian rather than European Olympic qualifying events. Gymnastics is a significant sport. In Tokyo, Russian gymnasts won both the men's and women's team gold medals. To continue to be able to qualify entire teams for the Paris Games under existing regulations, Russians must participate in their respective continental championships. Moving on, will any U.S. beach volleyball gold medalists return? The qualification period for beach volleyball at the Olympics is from January 2023 to June 2024. The reigning gold medalists April Ross and Alex Kleinman may remain silent publicly on their intentions to compete at the Paris Games. Since having shoulder surgery, Kleinman, 33, hasn't competed in the game. 40-year-old Ross last competed in March, but she withdrew due to an undisclosed injury before the Global Championships in June when she was entered with Emily Day. According to reports, Kerri Walsh Jennings, the most decorated Olympic beach volleyball player with 4 medals, had been working out on Hermosa Beach with 2000 Olympic indoor colleague Logan Tom. In June 2021, Walsh Jennings, 44, last competed in a competition when she and her partner Brooke Sweat lost the race for the second and last U.S. slot in the Tokyo Games. Walsh Jennings stated previously that she wanted Tom to be her new partner. She later stated in October that she should hear back after the new year on her plans to bid for the 2024 Olympics. The gold medalists have some time to think, but they'll probably need to make a decision sooner rather than later in 2023, or they will run the danger of slipping considerably behind in the race for 2 Olympic slots. Sarah Hughes and Kelly Chang, who earlier won the most recent top-level international competition, and Taryn Cloth and Kristen Nuss, who won 5 times across the local AVP and international FIVB tournaments in 2022, are 2 powerful young pairings from the United States. Next up, which NBA superstars will suit up for USA Basketball? The American men's basketball team may be up against a formidable opponent at the Paris Games, but the quadennial FIBA World Cup in August and September comes first. Remember how the Americans fell twice in the World Cup 4 years ago, finishing 8th, despite only having 2 NBA All-Stars at key positions and 1 player with Olympic experience on the squad. Steve Kerr took over as the team's head coach after Greg Popovich led them to a comeback gold in Tokyo. Jerry Colangelo was replaced as managing director of the national team by Grant Hill. Will the top athletes from the United States agree to leave a month before NBA training camps to fly to the Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia to co-host the World? Plus, which country will Joel Embiid play for? The Cameroonian-born center for the Philadelphia 76ers obtained French and American citizenship this year, making him possibly eligible to play for any of those countries in international basketball. If Embiid decides to participate at all, he hasn't yet chosen, but France's general manager showed optimism. When combined with other 7-footers, Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama, an 18-year-old LeBron James hailed as having a one-of-a-kind skill, Embiid may offer France, the Olympic host nation, triple towers. That may cause issues for the United States. The only American center to earn an All-NBA first, second, or third team in the previous 5 seasons was Anthony Davis, who sat out the Tokyo Olympics. Lastly, will the 2030 Winter Olympic and Paralympic host be decided? The IOC stated earlier that it's no longer anticipated that the host for the 2030 Winter Games will be chosen before next fall. The IOC cited broader discussions about the future of the Winter Games, including the effects of climate change and the potential for rotating the games among a pool of hosts. Vancouver, Sapporo, Japan, and Salt Lake City were previously acknowledged as bidders. The British Columbia government then said in October that it wouldn't support a Vancouver bid, which was a significant blow, even though organizers didn't claim that the decision had terminated the campaign. Then later, Japanese officials declared a halt to the Sapporo bid's active advertising, which may have included a nationwide poll asking people if they wanted to host the Olympics. Considering Los Angeles is already hosting the 2028 Summer Games, U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee officials say Salt Lake City is a more likely contender for 2034 than 2030, but they may step in for 2030 if requested. That's a wrap for this video. Do you have any more questions in mind? Comment below, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.